My name is Caroline, this is Globanitter. Welcome back to my channel, and today I would like to talk to you about how I pack my knitting to travel. Many of you have found me through my video that talks about whether or not you can take your knitting needles with you on a plane. So I thought it would be a useful subject for us to explore. When it comes to my knitting, I have two ways of packing it. So my first way of packing my bags is when I travel as a crew member, and I can take as many bags as I want, within reason of course, and what I can carry. So I have a setup for when I travel as a crew. And the second way I pack my bags is when I travel as a full fare paying passenger, like most of you, I guess. And usually airline have company policies that you can only take 2 carry-on bags with you. You have to obey security rules with regard to sharp objects and so on and so on. And in that case, I only carry on 2 bags with me. So I'm going to go through this setup, and at the end, I'm going to share a checklist, because you know in aviation we do everything with checklist to help you pack your bags with your knitting more efficiently. So when I travel as a crew member, I usually have 3 bags. I have my main carry-on suitcase where I put all my clothes, cosmetics, everything I might need during the layover. I have my flight bag, which contains my iPad, my work iPad. I have anything I might need for the flight, because you know I fly long haul. So I have socks that I've made myself, of course. I have eye mask, all sorts of moisturizing cream, hand cream, all these kind of things. And then I have an extra bag where I pack all my knitting. And I always pack much more than I need, because you know I'm on the road for 3 weeks. So, and sometimes things happen when you're on layover. Maybe you get delayed or you get stuck somewhere. So I do not want to find myself without anything to knit. So that's my setup. You can see in the video how I travel. It's a bit heavy, but as a crew member, it's not an issue. So I've just arrived on the layover from a flight, and this is my setup. This is all my knitting stuff. My second setup is when I travel as a full fare paying passenger, like I did a few days ago between Mexico and Los Angeles. I wasn't in uniform, I was a normal regular passenger, and I only had 2 bags. My flight bag, because I was traveling to work, and my carry-on suitcase. And for the ticket I buy, these 2 bags are okay in the cabin. But because I have my knitting, I decided to check in my bag. So when I travel as a passenger, the way I do it is I put the bulk of my knitting and accessories, everything I need to knit when I get to my destination, in my checked-in luggage. And if you want to try, if you don't have so much accessories like I do, if you want to try to bring your carry-on suitcase with you on board, the way I would do it is to put all my knitting accessories on top, because for sure they will show up on the X-ray if you have a lot. It happens to me when I travel as a crew, and you always have to show them. So if it's underneath, it's a pain. You have to unpack your whole suitcase. So put the item that they might want to investigate on top of your suitcase when you open it, so they're easily accessible. And this is the way I pack my suitcase when I go on layovers. If I don't bring a spare bag, I put my knitting at the top, so that if I have to open it, and I know it's going to be the knitting that is the problem, it's going to be easily accessible for them to see. And yes, I have yarn, more yarn, and I have more yarn here. So that's how I do it. If you decide to bring your knitting as carry-on, I have a checklist to help you through the process, because it's easy to forget accessories or things. So let's go through the checklist together. And you don't need to take notes because I'm going to include a PDF file that you can download. The link is going to be in the description, where you can find this checklist. You can download it to your iPhone, or you can print it out and tick as you go along to make sure that you don't forget anything. So number 1 on my list is pick your project. I recommend something small, that is easy to carry, that is not too bulky, that doesn't take too much space. Something like a hat, gloves, mittens, socks, even a scarf, even a shawl. There's not too much. This is what I recommend. I've knitted anything in flight, sweaters, bulky things, but it's not what I recommend. Number 2 on my list is download and read the full pattern. See if there's any tricky bits, how the pattern is constructed, if it's simple enough. I think it's always the best because, you know, you're going to be disturbed, you're going to have meal service, turbulence, so you want something easy enough. Number 3 is wind the yarn you're going to need for the flight into cakes, because you won't be able to do it, and maybe wind all the yarn you need for your travel into cakes and put the extra in your suitcase, in your checked-in luggage. So I was editing when I realized I forgot item number 4 on our checklist, and I guess we all hate it, most of us anyway, and that's why I forgot it. And this item is swatching. You want to know which needles to bring with you, so better to make the swatch before you start traveling. Number 5 is cast on your project at home on wooden interchangeable circular needle. I think that's the most important because it's the way you're going to go through security with that. Number 6 is once you've cast on your project and maybe you've knitted a few setup rows, is remove your needles and add stoppers. Is going to remove a lot of drama at the airport, because once I had a security lady picking the knitting by the needle and I was seeing in my mind that she would pick it up too much and totally remove the needle from the knitting project. So remove the wooden tip, put the stoppers, and put the wooden tips in a pencil case. And while we're into packing our needles in a pencil case, why don't we also pack the necessary accessories for knitting while you're traveling? What I usually carry on with me is a stitch marker, a tape measurer, small scissors, and remember the blade has to be less than 6 centimeters. And if you need, don't forget a row counter, or you might just need a notebook and whatever else you might need for your project during the flight. Okay, once you've done all this, my tip number 8, and this is what I do personally, is I download all the techniques from YouTube. And yes, I pay for YouTube Premium. You can have 1 month or 3 months free, I think, so it's perfect for the trip. Download all the techniques you will need. That's why you need to read the full pattern on your iPhone, so that you don't have, or your iPad, so that you don't have to pay for the Wi-Fi on board. Tip number 9, and that's from one of my followers, so thank you, is to bring a padded self-addressed envelope with you, just in case security tells you, the needles are not flying with you today. So you can always mail it back to yourself or mail it to where you're going. Number 10 is arrive early at the airport, so you have flexibility. You can check in 1 extra bag or go back outside to mail your self-addressed envelope or give it to someone who went with you to the airport. Things like this, you know, time for the unexpected. And if you arrive early, you have more knitting time as well. And my final tip is enjoy your flight. I know that air travel can be very stressful. I don't know how we've managed it as an industry. I feel it's getting worse and worse and worse every year. So now I'm going to show you how I actually pack my knitting. You know, I'm on the road for 3 weeks in a row. So what I like to do is to I have 2 small bags that I carry with me, my knittings and accessories, and my cables and small needles. So I love, love, love this Kipling pencil case, and I will show you why in a minute, because, ta-da! You can put all your needles there. you know, that's because I'm away from home for a long time. And so I bring all my needles. And this is all my accessories. So in the middle part, I have my tape measurer, my stitch markers, spare crochet hook, needles that don't fit in the pencil case. I have buttons, more buttons. What else? I should have the darning needles. Maybe they're with my project right now, I don't know. I even have a pencil. Imagine a pencil case for when you need to take notes. Yeah, so that's how I travel with my knitting. The second bag is a pouch I made myself. Yeah, sometimes I do some sewing. And in it I have all my cables. I tried to use this, but in my case it doesn't work. So, and I've removed a lot of the packaging because it was taking too much space. And so this I kept. They are not interchangeable. So I have a few needles. I have many sock needles of every size, wooden. So you don't have to bring everything, just what you're going to need for your trip. But you know me. And I'm going to show you how I traveled with my knitting when I'm a passenger. Also when I'm crew, I put that in my flight bag. It doesn't take space. So this is what I have. This is an IKEA bag, and I feel it's perfect size. It closes like this. IKEA doesn't pay me, but I use a lot of their stuff for traveling. So I put this because I came here as crew in my flight bag, just because this is mohair, just to keep it a bit secure. That's for my next project. So I was telling you to bring small project. This is a muscle bra hat I'm making, and it's perfect for traveling by air. It's small. I'm using wooden circular detachable interchangeable needles like this, and with this I have my stitch markers. I have, see, my darning needles were there, but I would advise you put them in the check-in bags because many countries don't allow them on board. My small scissors with a small blade. It has to be less than 6 centimeters. I have my other. You can use this as well. And you can also use dental floss, you know, the tip of the dental floss where you cut it. It can cut yarn as well. And a tape measurer. I have two. I have this one that is only centimeters, and I have this one that was given for free by Bergère de France when I placed an order. And what I like with this one is that it's one side in centimeters and one side in inches, and they start at exactly the same point. So when the pattern says 4 inches, I just turn around and up, it's 10 centimeters. I love this. So I love this tape measure. And I also travel with a spare cable in case I finish my project and I have spare yarn to start another one, but that's just me. Maybe it's too much already, but just one project is enough, I think, for a normal flight. But I hope that all these tips will help you to have a stress-free travel experience. And if you haven't seen it already, please don't forget to check my video on whether you can travel with your knitting needles. It's going to be in the description. It's going to help you as well. If you know the rules, you can adapt. And please let me know your experience at the end of the video. I love to read all your comments, and sometimes you give me tips that I hadn't thought about, like the padded self-addressed envelope tip. So thank you very much. Happy knittings, and I know this video is going to be released just on time for Christmas. So happy Christmas. Mwah. Bisous bisous.